The Self-Stranger. Here, let's talk about the story of a young man who had absolutely nothing. No savings, no family support, no path forward. He was working double shifts as a waiter in a small diner, sleeping 4 hours a night, and living in a room so small he could touch both walls at the same time. But in just 18 months, everything about his life completely changed. And what he did every morning at 4 a.m. will shock you. Before we dive into this story, I want you to do something for me. What time are you listening to this right now? And where in the world are you from? Drop a comment below and tell me. And please, like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this one. It really helps us keep going. Now let me tell you about a young man named Elias. Was 24 years old. He lived in a rented room above a laundromat, in a tired little city where the buses ran late and the streetlights flickered. His room had one window, one mattress on the floor, one broken ceiling fan that clicked every time it turned. He shared a bathroom with 4 other tenants he never spoke to. His clothes were folded in a cardboard box. His shoes had cracks in the soles. And every night, when he came home from the diner smelling like fryer oil, he would sit on the edge of his mattress and stare at the wall. He was tired, not just body tired, soul tired. His mother lived 3 hours away in a small town he could no longer afford to visit. She was 62. Her knees hurt. Her hands shook when she poured tea. And every Sunday she called him and asked the same soft question. "Are you eating, my son? Are you sleeping?" And every Sunday Elias lied. He said yes. He said he was doing fine. He said he was saving money. But the truth was, he had $184 in his bank account. He owed rent. He owed the corner store. And he was one bad week away from losing everything. His father had died when he was 16. Since then, Elias had been the man of the house in name only. He sent his mother what he could. It was never enough. And every time he hung up the phone, he felt a shame so heavy. It pressed down on his chest, like a stone. He had dreams once. He wanted to build something, a business, a future, a life his mother could be proud of. But dreams cost money. Dreams cost time. And Elias had neither. He felt invisible. He felt trapped. He felt like the world was moving forward without him. And he was the only one standing still, in a room that kept getting smaller. And then, one rainy Tuesday night, everything cracked open. It was 11:47 p.m. Elias was closing the diner. The last customer had left. He was mopping the floor when the phone in his pocket buzzed. It was his aunt. His mother had collapsed. She was in the hospital. Her blood pressure had spiked. She was stable, but the doctor said she needed rest, medicine, and someone to look after her. Elias sat down on the wet floor and cried. He cried like a child. He cried because he could not afford the bus ticket home. He cried because he could not afford the medicine. He cried because for 8 years he had promised himself he would take care of her. And here he was, a grown man with holes in his shoes and nothing in his pockets. He walked home in the rain that night, 4 miles, no umbrella. And somewhere between the diner and his room, something inside him broke, and something else woke up. He made a promise, out loud. To the empty street, he said, "I will never feel this small again. I will never fail her again. Whatever it takes, whatever it costs, I will change." But he did not know how. The next morning, he went to work exhausted. His eyes were swollen. His hands were shaking. And that is when he met the man who would change his life. His name was Mr. Holden. He was 71 years old, silver hair, quiet eyes, a worn leather jacket. He came in every morning at 6:30 a.m., ordered black coffee and 2 eggs, and read a small notebook while he ate. Elias had served him 100 times and never spoken more than 5 words to him. But that morning, Mr. Holden looked up and said, "Young man, you look like you are carrying something heavy today." And Elias, for reasons he could not explain, sat down across from him and told him everything. Mr. Holden listened. He did not interrupt. He did not offer pity. When Elias was done, the old man closed his notebook, folded his hands, and said only this: "There is one rule that separates the men who stay poor from the men who build something. Do you want to know what it is?" Elias nodded. Mr. Holden said, "Wake up at 4 a.m., every single day for the next 365 days. Not 5 a.m., not 4:30 a.m., 4. And in that first hour, before the world wakes up, before anyone can ask anything of you, before the noise begins, you build the life you want. Not the life you have, the life you want. Elias asked, "But what do I do in that hour?" Mr. Holden smiled. He said 3 things, and only 3 things. First, you write down what you want your life to look like. In 1 year, in 5 years, in 10 years. You write it every morning, not once, every morning, until it becomes real in your mind. Second, you learn, you read. You study a skill that pays, not a hobby, a skill someone will hand you money for. Third, you build. You take one small action every single morning toward the thing you want to create. One email, one page, one phone call, one product, one customer, one small brick lay before the sun comes up. Elias asked, "And that is it?" Mr. Holden said, "That is it. But here is the hard part. You cannot miss a single day, not one. Because the day you miss is the day you learn you can miss. And once you learn you can miss, you will miss again and again, and soon the promise you made in the rain will die quietly, and you will be back exactly where you started." He handed Elias a small card. With a phone number on it, he said, "Call me in 90 days, only if you have not missed a single morning. If you have missed even one, do not call. I will know." And he walked out that night. Elias set his alarm for 4 a.m. Day 1 was brutal. His body felt like concrete. His eyes burned. But he sat at the small table by his window with a cheap notebook and a pen he had borrowed from work, and he wrote about a business he wanted to build, something small, something honest. He wanted to sell hand-lettered signs to local shops because he had always been good at drawing letters, and shops in his neighborhood still used cardboard signs taped to their windows. Day 2, he almost quit. Day 3, he did quit. He turned off the alarm and slept. But at 6 a.m. he woke up ashamed, and he made himself sit at the table anyway. He wrote a letter to his mother he did not send. Day 10, something small shifted. He was no longer dreading the alarm. He was almost waiting for it. Day 20, he made his first sign. He gave it to the owner of the corner store for free. The man loved it. He asked how much for another. Elias said $15. The man paid him $20 and told him to keep the change. Day 30, he had 4 paying customers. Day 45, he had 12. Day 60, he was making an extra $400 a month from signs alone. And he sent every dollar to his mother. And then day 68 came, and everything almost fell apart. He got sick, a bad fever. He could barely stand. The alarm went off at 4 a.m. and he lay in bed and told himself, one day off will not matter, one day, just one. But then he remembered Mr. Holden's words. The day you miss is the day you learn. You can miss. He crawled out of bed. He sat at the table. He could not write much, but he wrote one sentence. I showed up. And he went back to sleep. That one sentence saved his life. Day 90 came. He called the number on the card. Mr. Holden answered on the second ring. He said only, "Come to the diner tomorrow at 5 a.m. Elias was there at 4:45. Mr. Holden looked at him and smiled. He said, "You look different. You are standing taller. You are sleeping less. But you are alive more. This is what the 4 a.m. hour does. It gives you back to yourself." Then he said, "Now the real work begins. The next 275 days will build the man your mother always knew you could be." And Elias kept going. Month 6, he quit the diner. His sign business was making $2,800 a month. 8, he hired his first helper, a kid from the neighborhood who needed the work. Month 10, a small chain of cafe hired him to letter every one of their locations. That contract alone paid him $18,000. Month 12, he moved his mother into a small clean apartment. Near his new studio, she cried. When she saw the kitchen, she said, "My son, you did this." And Elias said, "No, Mama, we did this. You raised a man who does not quit." By the end of year 1, he had earned just over $94,000. By year 3, his little sign company had become a full design studio with 9 employees and clients in 4 cities. By year 5, he sold a stake in the business for 2.3 million. But if you ask him today what changed his life, he will not tell you about the money. He will not tell you about the studio, or the contracts, or the car he finally bought his mother. He will tell you about one rainy night, one broken promise turned into one small card, and one alarm set for 4 o'clock a.m., my friend. Elias's story is not just about waking up early. It is about you. It is about the promise you made to yourself once, in a moment of pain, that you have been quietly betraying every single day since. It is about the hour of your life that no one is asking you for. The hour before the world wakes up. The hour that belongs to you and only you. Most people will never claim that hour. They will sleep through it. They will scroll through it. They will tell themselves they are too tired, too busy, too broken. And 10 years from now, they will be exactly where they are today, wondering why nothing ever changed. But you are different. You are still watching. You are still here, which means something inside you is already awake. So here is your challenge tonight, and I want you to take it seriously. Step 1. Set your alarm for 4 o'clock a.m., not tomorrow, tonight, right now, before you forget. Step 2. Put a notebook and a pen next to your bed. Not your phone, a notebook. A real one. Cheap is fine. Step 3. When the alarm rings, do not think, do not negotiate. Sit up. Walk to the table. Open the notebook. Write down the life you want. Then learn one thing. Then build one thing. One small brick every single morning for the next 90 days. And on day 90, come back to this video. Leave a comment and tell me what changed, because something will change. I promise you that. Remember 3 things before you go. First, the man you want to become is built in the hours no one sees. Second, discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of self-love. Third, you do not need permission, a degree, or a mentor in a leather jacket. You only need one alarm and one promise you refuse to break. If this story moved you even a little, please give it a like. It really helps this channel reach the next person who needs to hear it. Subscribe if you have not already, because we tell stories like this every week. And tell me in the comments, what time did you set your alarm for tonight? I read every single one. The world is going to sleep soon, my friend. But tomorrow at 4:00 a.m., while everyone else is still dreaming, you are going to be awake. You are going to be building. You are going to be becoming. And 1 year from today, you will not recognize the man or woman in the mirror. I will see you there.